Hi everybody, this is Odd Samurai, and today I'm gonna be reacting to Chainsaw Man chapter 213. But even before talking about 212, just to say a little bit that I think I like the cover of volume 22 now. Now that I think I get what Fujimoto was going for. Because, well, I was like looking at it and I was like, Asa's smile, if you can even call it that, doesn't really look that genuine. It's like she's forcing it, especially with the way that one of her eyes looks. She's kind of like, So, yeah, this is definitely her trying to put up a front, like, yeah, I'm along for the ride, I guess. Well, she's completely carrying Yoru, and as Yoru basically looks all proud of what she's doing, and obviously thinks that all that happens is just because of herself. I'm just so great. Isn't that because someone else made it possible? No, no, no. And the manner as well that Asa is being forced to carry Yoru, like Asa's skirt goes all the way down to her knees, whereas Yoru's gets up to her thighs. So I feel like this is definitely, symbolizing how Asa has no consent or conscious involvement in Yoru sexually assaulting her. I mean, that goes without saying if you call it that, but yeah, like at the very least, I like to think that this is basically Fujimoto nodding and being like, I haven't forgotten, it's here, it's just, hasn't been tackled in the story itself yet. But it's definitely something that it's burdening Asa. And it's definitely a heavy weight on her, so. Okay. Also, the back cover as well of the volume, which is Asayoru, but we can't tell which one it is, aiming at the camera and being, basically like almost being crushed by the walls around her. And it looks like she's in a alleyway. So I saw some people say that it's referring to the constant, well, not constant, but recurring dream that we've seen Asa have, of that, like, she's running and she steps on some birds or chickens, and then she wakes up. And I think that's basically like, her stepping and basically killing people without wanting to. And I think the alleyway shows that that's the end of that road. It is interesting that, and it's very important that we don't know whether Asa or Yoru is the one in the back cover. Sorry, inside cover. But I think that alone tells us that that's a big fear of Asa, that Yoru will have absorbed so much of what makes, what is Asa's, and made it her own, that basically Asa cannot be seen at all. And, basically all of Asa has been erased to the point that you can't even tell which one it is. Basically, the fear that Yoru had at the beginning, which was to be forgotten and to cease to exist. So, yeah. Okay, so on to chapter 212. Yeah, man, that was a huge chapter for Fumiko. I used to be like, man, I just can't stand just seeing Fumiko on screen. I'd say once, after like 167, that spot more certainly got taken over by Yoru, but I still didn't like seeing Fumiko. But this made her so much more interesting. And, like, actually, at the very least, I feel sympathy for the Fumiko who made the contract way back when. And even though we have, we are given info, it's not like really super detailed and concrete. Like, for example, like we know that she made the contract at 14, but we have no idea, what kind of circumstances it was that she made the contract. And, like, was she living with her parents? Did her parents? That would be horrible, but, like, I mean, it still is, with all the dark implications, but did her parents force her to take the contract? Because I would assume that at that age she would not be with public safety. Or she just, she was just by herself. No parents in sight. She was in a really bad place. So she thought this was a way to defend herself. And, but then that would mean that the Fumiko that told Denji about how her parents died is like, okay, so how does that work then? And now I'm thinking, like, how many different Fumikos have we seen before 212? I don't know. I don't know. I never thought she's really been that inconsistent in regards to, like, characterization. But that could be possible. So, like, how do they communicate? She just says, like, we're still routinely exchanging information. That's so vague. Like, do they call each other on the phone, or do they have, like, some kind of, like, devil power telepathy type? I'm not sure. Also, I really like the framing of Fumiko having that whole talk with Denji as she's under the bed and he's on the bed. Like, there's no why am I blanking on that? Like, eye contact. Like, she's being forced to perpetuate the same system that traumatized them both. She's looking up at someone where she once was. And I think that's part of the reason why she dislikes Denji. Because she dislikes her past self. And even most likely her current self as well. But that's, I'm not so sure about that. But yeah, she sees Denji and probably sees her past self. And she's like a pathetic, weak. So already her dynamic with Denji became more layered as well. But also the way that the STD devil operates, at least when making a contract with it, it definitely feels like an allegory for abuse, But hard to really explain in detail why. But yeah, like you get abused and then you pass it on to someone else, and then that person passes it to someone else, and so forth. Like, that's the best way I can word it. But yeah, we can assume that, I mean, not even assume, we've seen it, that Fumiko, just like Denji, has hypersexuality, and repeated abuse has led her to have this skewed morals. So she abuses Denji in a similar fashion to how she was exploited. And the cycle continues. But yeah, that could also be like the way that she's just resignated to the way that things work around her and how people view her. Might also be why she's so comfortable with stuff like, oh yeah, let's just, kill a bunch of kids. I mean, surely it's not so, like, the cruelness of it doesn't feel so outlandish to her with the way that she's lived. Because for her, it's been so long since it started, but for Denji, it's only been 2 years, maybe, since he met Makima. And yeah, the way that she treats Denji, for example, when he was getting dismembered at the public safety facility, and she was like, oh, can I get some of that? I'll collect it, and, as a fan. That's probably also her way of, like, treating others the way that they've treated her. Just being seen and just, commodified like an object. But yeah, it is kind of sad that she was most likely like Denji once, but it got to the point where she's like, who cares? Now I'll do what was done to me. Yeah, that's sad. So that was a bit of a, I didn't really go through the chapter. I just wanted to talk about Fumiko and, how her character now interacts with Denji's as well. So I didn't really go in any order. But yeah, like, honestly, I think Fumiko might be a top 20 character already. And it's just after one chapter of such a big reveal. But that's how good it was. But yeah, I wonder if giving the picture to Denji made like, at least in a subconscious level, like Fumiko disappointed or even a little angry that it worked. You know, this is what she's been doing this whole time. Basically selling and giving away her body because of some type of circumstances that we're not privy to, but she just continues on and it works. Like, she might see, you know, herself on Denji, but as well, you know, the guys or people who've taken advantage of her as well in the past. And her calling Yoshida and Denji senpai might be because she wishes she could have had a past or a adolescence where she could have had normal relationships with boys like that. You know, to just hang out at school and care about normal stuff like, you know, festivals and stuff. But yeah, I bet there's like so much stuff that if you go back and read past Fumiko chapters that they get recontextualized in some way now because of this. Like the way that she interacted with Nayuta too. Like, I bet she had some resentment towards her. That she could have a normal childhood too. Like, even more so her than Denji. And that, like, that moment where she's like, you know, family? What is that? Surely not cats and dogs. Like, that could have, like, sure, she did that to be cruel, but also, like, there might have been some personal feelings to that. Hey, sorry for the abrupt cut. My neighbors had some obnoxiously loud music for like over an hour, so I just went and ate dinner and I'm back. So I think I was still talking about Fumiko, and I'll just say, you know, a few things before actually reading the chapter. So we don't know when public safety really approached her, but I think it's safe to assume she was probably still a teenager when that happened. They probably went like, you have a legal contract with the devil, but if you come and work for us, then, you know, you can just use that. You know, it'll be used for the greater of humanity. And so that could be why there are so many Fumikos. You know, what did you say? Like, there's a Fumiko in every country. So that, I feel like that's symbolism for, like, you know, sexual trafficking. Which is, yeah, quite heavy. And going back to Fumiko not making eye contact with Denji through the whole thing. Like, I feel like that's also another way to show, like, she still needs, like, a layer of separation to really talk to someone about this. And for most of the chapter, she says Fumiko Mifune, as if she's talking about someone else. So there's some dissociation there. And in the moment where she says, "Yes, I am alive," she does seem to be talking about herself, the current Fumiko. So I gotta wonder how much individuality there is inside each Fumiko, and how that factors in to this deal that she's trying to make with Denji so that he'll work with Yoru. But yeah, like in one chapter, Fumiko became such an intriguing and fascinating character. That, yeah, props to Fujimoto. He made me interested in her. Before, I would have been like, oh man, cheers to Fumiko dying. But now, I might actually feel some pity, or if it's incredibly enough, sympathy. But yeah, it's kinda unclear who Denji will side with, and this seems to be the decision that Fire Devil told Denji he was gonna have to make. You gotta think of the consequences that your actions will have, and Denji still is not in a place to think about that. He's still just trying to think of a way to distract himself. So yeah, there was a lot to say, so there was a lot of talk, of a pre-discussion. But yeah, I got spoiled, unfortunately, that in 213, Yoshida will be in it. And man, I'm so annoyed. Like, of course I'm gonna be excited that he's here, but I wanted to be surprised, and now I won't. But yeah, I saw him, like the back of his head. There was rain, so Denji and him must be outside the school. And I also saw a panel of him smiling. Other than that, I have no context whatsoever. So let's get into it. Title is Roll. Alright. I was gonna say Denji wakes up, but we don't even know if he slept at all. Actually, I think I said that about Denji last chapter, but like when was the last time he slept? How long has he been awake? That also must factor in, the limited mental capacity he has right now. No, I think this is his imagination. Big Word Devil for me says death as she shows him her panties. And Fumiko says, bring down Death Devil, pretty please, as she is naked, supposedly in a bed. I'm a chick magnet. That's one way to say it. And of course he's internalized it like that. When women throw themselves at me, I'm usually getting tricked. Yeah. Like, even last chapter, he had enough of a mind to actually say to Fumiko, like, you know, aren't you also using me? Before she gave him the picture. So he has, you know, some awareness. But whether or not he acts upon that, it's a completely different matter. Oh, remembering fire? Yeah. After this, you're gonna choose between two options again. Yeah, okay. Glad I had this present. Rain keeps going outside. Oh, yeah, okay. You know, I'm actually kind of surprised. No, straight up, I am surprised that Denji connected what Fire Devil said to him to the situation he's in right now. Is this what that devil meant? Unless there's like a twist somewhere and this is not actually a choice. That'd be mean. Okay, another panel of him with his hair covering his eyes. Oh! Someone is throwing rocks at the window he's, you know, that's right next to him. Now that I've been spoiled, I feel like I know who this is. Another rock. Denji looks to that window. Oh my god. Yep, that's Yoshida. Oh man, I'm now that he's here, I'm like 120% locked in. There's not a single chapter that he's in where I'm like, you know, this didn't click. Like, no, all of his chapters are like 10 out of 10. And I'm so glad he's back. It's been since like chapter 194 when Shi-chan tells him and Fumiko that she won't help them with the prophecy. She'll go and partake on the preparations for the school festival. And that was that. So, oh my god. Okay. And I am nervous because literally the panels to the left are of Shi-chan. So she must be aware that he's here. She had her eyes closed, then she opened them. And Famine is there as well. She's also awake. Oh, I'm nervous. But let's keep reading. Oh man. Okay. Like, I am a little scared for Yoshida. And also, like, in what kind of mindset he's in after, you know, Denji tried to shoot him with a gun. And as I've said before, it's because Denji thinks that Yoshida had a bigger role than he did on Nayuta being killed. And Yoshida doesn't clarify it because he feels guilty. So he wants he feels like he deserves all of Denji's anger from that. Okay. Why are you standing on the rain? Okay, so Denji came out, but he's still being shielded from the rain. From the building. And Yoshida is not looking at him. He has his whole body to the side. I don't even know what he's holding. And now he looks at him. I wanted to see the school. What to make of this expression? I feel like there's always some kind of underlying sadness in Yoshida's eyes. Well, almost always. I'd say after like 133 in Yoshida's eyes. You can just see that whenever he's forcing a smile or trying to act casual. And I feel like this is one of those times. But, okay. What's with that? Of course, he's asking about whatever Yoshida has in his hands. Next panel, though, Yoshida doesn't answer. He's just still looking to the side as the rain keeps hitting him. Man, this is such a, like, having the rain all around is such a good, like, setting for the tone. I can almost, like, freaking hear the rain. I was able to enroll thanks to you, actually. Oh my god. Is this going to be Yoshida's... Like, is this chapter gonna be for Yoshida what last chapter was for Fumiko? Okay, well... Given your age, there was a possibility you would start high school. Public safety hired me to enroll here so I could guard you at school. I think there's definitely some significance to the fact that he says this and we only see, you know, his back in this second panel of the page. I was reluctant, but in retrospect, I was assigned to a pretty good role. Oh, this is already making me sad. And we just focus on a soccer ball. Maybe it's like, you know, representative of the type of teenage life that Yoshida wanted to have with Denji. Denji just goes, huh. Another panel of Yoshida just sulking in the rain as we can't see his eyes. And he's definitely not smiling. Are you here to ask me for a favor too? Huh? Yeah. Wow, I actually really like that Yoshida is confused. I mean, like, I don't think, like, the longer this conversation keeps going, I don't think Yoshida is here in public safety's behalf. I mean, Fumiko wasn't here for public safety. She was here to protect her own ass. Everybody is hitting me up for favors today. FYI, flashing me your undies or a nude won't work in your case. That's... like, it's both sad, but also, like... it's the one person who Denji would listen because of who they are, rather than because of their body. But at the same time, this is basically Denji saying to Yoshida, I would never look at you that way. Oh, that panel of Yoshida right after. The raindrops in his face look like tears. Favor, huh? Oh, wow. He just repeats that word. Okay. He lifts one of the bags that he has. I bought pizza and drinks. It... Yo, give me a second. I can read this. I brought pizza and drinks. Eat with me? I love Yoshida. And that's why he repeated that word. It was never in his mind. Yoshida could have never thought of asking of asking something from Denji. For him, Denji just spending time with him has always been more than enough. Sorry if I'm barely understandable right now. Just okay. But yeah, oh my god. I'm not gonna stop crying. Oh man, as the rain just keeps going strong, Yoshida tries his best to be like, hey, let's hang out. Oh. Just like he did when he invited Denji to the cafe way back in 103. Or when he invited him to the movies in like 136. But now the world is about to collapse and end. So Yoshida is just like, you know what? You know, if I just have, if nothing else matters, if I just have a few days to live, I want to spend it with you. Oh. Oh. I'll move on from this panel eventually. I'm sorry. Oh. And the next panel is just the two of them eating the pizza together, and then you just say, that's good. Oh man. Sorry. I apologize already. I don't know if I'm the only one crying at this, but let me have this. I love Yoshida so much, and I feel like he's not understood enough. Yo, look at the way that Yoshida is sitting in this panel and compare it to 103. Like in 103, like he's sitting in such a way that he's almost like fusing with the table, with how much closer he wants to be with Denji. And here he's It seemed like he even dragged the chair a little bit back so he could keep his distance. Oh man, give me another second to blow my nose. Okay. Aren't you gonna eat? I like watching people eat. Actually, yeah, I don't think we've ever seen Yoshida eat. He only ever like has something to drink. Oh, the next panel is the Hayakawa trio. Aki watching Power and Denji eat. Oh, I remember back when in the first few chapters when Yoshida was introduced. And you know, the first few things we saw him do is seeing Power and Denji eat. Oh, yeah. Some guys are like that. Oh, you know what this is reminding me of? In the aquarium arc. When Asa was acting all cocky, and Denji told her, "You remind me of an old friend." Referring to Power. And now Yoshida reminded him of Aki. Oh man. Remember that time we got hassled by delinquents after school and you transformed into Chainsaw Man? Oh man. I don't think we ever saw that. I wanted to give him a good scare by cutting off an arm or two. That was a tough one. I saved the day by punching them all out. The way that I can do this. The way that Yoshida's talking about, you know, the good old days. And the expression he has as he starts talking about it. Oh, he's so sad about it. This is definitely Yoshida's. We could never go back to that time. So he just wants to, at the very least, remember that, you know? Remember that it did happen. That there was a time in his life that felt quote-unquote normal. And Denji was a big part of it. Hanging out with you is hard work. But those memories all make me laugh. Oh, Denji has his whole mouth stuffed with pizza. And I really like that as Yoshida says that we were basically seeing Denji from his perspective. He's not out of frame or anything. Yoshida, I mean. But, you know, it's almost like he's trying. Yoshida, did you come here just to feed me? Oh, another panel of Yoshida's eyes being obscured, but he has a small smile there. And I think that's one of the few genuine ones we've ever seen of him. He stands up. I came to say goodbye. Yeah, we won't meet again. Thanks, Denji. I had tons of fun going to school with you. why am I crying so hard? He's still alive, but oh man. I want to talk more about the layout of the panel, but I can't. Oh, sure. Denji looks quite taken aback, but he doesn't have anything else to say. Oh, the panel of just their hands in a handshake. Thanks for all the free food. Let me just power through it until finishing the chapter. Oh, another Yoshida smile, which I suspect is very genuine. Sorry. My role is to be a switch. And then the school explodes. Okay, another second. Okay, so, oh my god, I could barely react to the Bob. I've been emotionally distraught and compromised for like, what? Since like page 8, so to be a switch, a little one? Like, did they put a bomb inside Yoshida? That would activate when Denji let go of his hand? Like, oh my god, I'm not in the estate to really try and pull apart what the plan was. I don't want to even ask, but does that mean Yoshida is dead? I mean, even before the last 2 pages, it felt like a definite goodbye. Man. This was a hard chapter to get through.